Whilst the last 12 to 18 months have been, in all honesty, relatively quiet for video games looking for funding on the Kickstarter platform, these past few months have once again seen a terrific uplift in terms of the apparent quality and ambitions of the projects seeking your backing. Welcome to Get Indie Gaming, where in this video, I continue our monthly series and take a look through some of the best looking indie games on Kickstarter this May 2020. Up first, we have We Should Talk, and with around 18 or so days to go in the campaign, it's already nearly doubled its initial funding aims of $5,000. Here we have a short-form, story-driven title. It's all about interpersonal relationships and the subtle nuances of communication, where you use a sentence spinner to build modular sentences in response to the in-game characters. Now, I'm really drawn to this one, particularly the choice of using a sentence spinner. With 9 endings, the choices you make and the path you take with these conversations will direct the overall route through the game. What's also interesting is such routes are based on what the developers are calling the tone of the responses you express, rather than a simple branching route so typical of most games within this genre. What's also interesting is all the work for this game is done, and the money they're raising here will be used to help market the game, which should be out this coming July. Up next, we have The Last Faith, which, as you can perhaps guess just by the initial screenshots and snippets, is an action exploration-based Metroidvania that's being touted to come to the PC via Steam and consoles in around the second half of next year. So far, and with a whopping 26 days left to go as this video goes live, it's already made it past the 45,000 UK pound mark, or just under the 55,000 US dollar funding target. So this really could be one of the most successful campaigns of the year. The story takes place in a world where science and magic meet, in which an ancient religion is also the law. A capital once full of decadence has fallen, where you play as a character called Eric, in what the developers are calling a game that asks and promotes the player to undertake a deep exploration approach, all within non-linear levels. They go on to say that as you move around the giant map, their emphasis, you have control over the way you go, what you do next, with you seeking new items, uncovering new areas, and undertaking puzzle play, all the while seeing away many unique and different enemies. Aside from the really rather attractive, if purposefully grimy art style, I'm super enthusiastic about the overall combat and weaponry at play here, which, given some of the dodge and parry moves, has me very much in mind of something you might have played in the more recent AAA masterpiece, that is Sekiro. With so much time left in this campaign, so far the only 2 stretch goals that have been announced, one being a boss-only battle mode, the other being the addition of more buff powers on weapons, I suspect there may be more announcements as the campaign keeps rolling until it ends on June the 19th. Up next, and at this month's number 3, we have another pixel art Metroidvania, with the developers saying there is a heavy emphasis on the Vania side of things that's headed onto the PC. In the Cork, it's the size of the character that's really grabbed my attention, with it being also super small and miniature. You'll take on the role of a chap called Salem, who after a few months away from home has returned to find it devastated by plague, with the villagers seeming all hostile and in general a bit out of sorts. Going back to the main character, much of the charm really does come from how small Salem is and how large the weapons he seems to be able to carry about the place. The developers are looking for 50,000 US dollars, and with 10 days to go in the funding round, the team so far have just over $8,500 in the bank. So perhaps this time round it might not get over the finishing line. In either case, there's something about the Cork that really gels with me, and I honestly hope this campaign leads to something for those behind it. The Cork has until June the 4th, with the game possibly expected out towards the middle of the summer next year. At number 2, and with a free prologue available to play by way of Steam now, Black Book had an initial funding aim of 35,000 US dollars, which it easily met after only 4 days. With 13 or so still left to go, it's already brought in just over 100,000 US dollars, with many of its stretch goals having been met. Black Book is an adventure RPG with card-based battle system that's also steeped in Slavic lore. Here you play as a young witch trying to break the 7 cells of hell in order to bring the young man she loves back to life. The free prologue really gives a good background into the story and introduces the characters really well, with it showing how the girl became a witch in the first place, while also showing off the main mechanics of the game. Now this does, as I perhaps say too much from time to time, really look so very attractive, and I'm hugely looking forward to see how the developers have built the Slavic lore into the overall game. I'm intrigued to see what they've done with what they're calling lore quizzes as a gameplay element, where you can choose to go deep into the game's inbuilt encyclopedia to find and solve answers to questions and riddles. Some of the stretch goals already met include a battle mode, and with so many days left on the campaign, like the Last Faith from earlier in this episode, this could be one of the most funded games on the whole KSA platform during 2020. The game's expected out early next year onto PC. At this month's number 1 position, Weaving the Tides is a beautifully stunning looking puzzle adventure game that sees you explore a Zelda-like world of fabric and textile, all the while riding on top of a dragon, which you're able to use a number of stitching methods with every puzzle, enemy and challenge being overcome by using the dragon's ribbon tail to complete magical stitching patterns. Some of these puzzles and solutions are said to be easier than others, with you needing at times both your imagination and powers of logic. The combat looks reasonably challenging, although the team have stressed the final game will have various modifiers with which to change and alter the overall level of difficulty. While there are give or take 6 or so days left of this campaign as this video goes out, the campaign is fully funded past its original goal of just under $20,000. With a short but sweet demo to play by way of itch.io, you can find a link to this and all the other games down in the video's description. This game is expected to make it onto Steam for release later this year. And so that's it. Do let me know which of these you most want to see more of, and while you're here, please like the video, and if you haven't done already, now's a great time to subscribe to the channel. Either way, many thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again here soon for another indie game video.